The business meeting, February 4th, 2026, Tennessee Firefighting Commission, led the prayer and by the pledge of Commissioner Scott. Let's pray. Father, Lord in heaven, approach that throne of grace and mercy this morning. Thank you for this great country in which we live, for this occupation that you allow us to have, for the opportunity to serve our communities, to serve our fellow firefighters. We ask that today we make decisions that are in the interest of improving safety and increasing professionalism for our members across the state. That we are always mindful of members that put themselves in harm's way. Be with us that we do make sound decisions. Be with all that have traveled here, they have safe journey. Be with those that are still suffering from the recent ice storm. Those of our members that are out there in the community working in these austere conditions. We're thankful for all many of the blessings. In Christ's dear name, we pray. Amen.
Please rise for the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America. Thank you.
Director, please call roll.
Here. All right.
Here.
Bob. Here. Green. Here. Here. Scott. Here. Solomon. Here. And then one girl. Here. Voting. Elliott. Here. Mike Bell. Everyone do that.
Entertain a motion to approve the minutes from November 4th, 2025.
Motion. I'll second.
Scott, second by Commissioner Solomon. All say aye.
Aye.
That's it. Don't think we have any announcements. Do have guests that just come up in the hot seat this morning. I hope it's Dr. Diana Ward. Yes. You know, Mike.
They didn't give us one this week.
I'll give you a podium. That's
I'll just wing it.
okay.
Classroom teacher, so I think I'll be all right. I just find a little hole over here to lay stuff down. That's all right. If that's okay. First of all, I want to say thank you to the commission for allowing us to come and share some of the exciting things that are going on at Rome State. And I want to extend my apology that I did not realize yesterday in the working session that there was an expectation that we couldn't have been here to have shared or talked about anything. So please accept my apology for that. I thought today was the day we were supposed to be here. So forgive me for that. I'm going to look down if you don't care, just kind of to the right. I did a little PowerPoint for us, but I'm going to wing it since we're kind of talking, and I hate to talk with my back to folks. So I may even keep moving around since I'm addressing the commission, but I don't. Old classroom teacher didn't like to have her back to different folks. I'm joined by two of my colleagues who are here from Rome State. Dr. Leah Deasy, who is the Dean of Social Science, Business, and Education. Dr. Deasy is where this particular degree and courses will reside in her division. And Dr. Shelley Esquivel, who is the Director of Student Learning. And I say Dr. Esquivel she does all the things that keeps us legal. It's all the stuff approved and sends us all through. And I think these two ladies were traveling down here with us today. So what Rome State is proposing is to stand up an AAS degree in fire science. Many of you are familiar with AAS degrees. Rome State is part of the Tennessee Board of Regents system. And 13 other community colleges. There's 2 other colleges in our system that offer degrees in fire science. But Rome State, from what we have heard from the fire departments in our area, there's a need for this. And so we'd like to try to work to meet that need. So working to stand up an AAS in fire science. A couple of things about Rome State. If you don't know Rome State sits in East Tennessee. We service a 9-county service area that includes, it's kind of weird, a little wonky, because we service both the Knox County area, the Oak Ridge area, and then the rest of our service area is very rural, which has primarily volunteer fire departments in our service. The need for access to both degrees and training continues to come up in the service area. So again, that's what's prompted this meeting and the reason that Rose State wants to move forward with an AAS degree. In your packet that I handed out to the commission, and anyone here who would like additional information, I'd be happy to provide that. On the left side of that packet, there's the proposed AAS degree for fire science. I've seen similar degrees. Many of you may possess that degree. The 6 core classes in fire science, as well as a list of electives that students can select from in going through the degree. Of course, this is pending TDR approval. I wanted to come before the commission to share what our vision was, what we were planning to do, and hopes to come back to the commission at your next meeting with another proposal. So the course descriptions are in the packet, or on that left side, you have the degree. The stapled packet right behind it is a copy of the courses with the course descriptions that are listed to give you an idea of what we are proposing. You'll also notice on the right side of your folder, the very first packet that's there is a crosswalk of NFPA 1001 and our courses. So what I'm showing there, or hope to show, is what do our courses, how are they meeting those particular standards? Probably more important for our community, the certificates that you may have in that particular area that Rose State can bring in to give you college credit as part of this degree. As many of us know, certificates that are issued, we want to recognize those. We want to build a pathway for folks who are in this field to be able to bring those into the degree. And the third thing that we are looking at is, as we are moving forward in this continued desire to provide access to our service area, is to come back to the commission with a proposal with partnerships in our area to come back with a proposal to offer firefighting to provide opportunities for our area. So access to the degree in fire science, we know that that provides advancement in your field. So we want to be able to provide that to the students, both who are currently in the field, that they can bring those certificates in, or to help with recruitment for those who may be interested in a career in fire science. So our dual enrollment students, which are students that are still in high school, that we can leverage and help recruiting as some of those students are coming out of high school to have a career in fire science. The beauty of using a degree is we can use state and federal funding to help pay for these courses. So there's dual enrollment students that I talked about that are still in high school. They are eligible for 5 courses to be paid for by the state of Tennessee. Some of those 5 courses may very well be in fire science, so that they see if that's an interest that they want to continue to pursue. The other piece of that is we have state money that can help students who have graduated high school under Tennessee Promise that can go full-time towards this AAS degree if, again, they're interested in that. The third piece for funding would be for those people who do not have a degree and are over 23 years old. They're eligible for something called Tennessee Reconnect. So if you have someone who either is in your area or who went straight into fire, but they didn't complete the degree, they got a whole list of certificates, we can review those, bring those certificates into the degree, and they can use state money and the Tennessee Reconnect to help them complete that degree. The last piece of that is Rose State is also pursuing the AAS degree is designed 2 years of college, and then we enter into the workforce. The other piece of that is an AS degree, which many of you hold a bachelor's degree in fire science. So we're also working to design a pathway for folks who want to go on in fire science and complete a bachelor's degree, that we will have a clear pipeline and a clear pathway for those students to complete a bachelor's degree and continue on. So access, I think, is the big thing that we want to provide. I hope Rose State can help remove any barriers that may be in the way. We're going to work to do that to make it as smooth a pipeline as we possibly can. We know that some of the degrees in our area may not, in our state, some of the colleges have stopped offering degrees. One state is more than happy to work with those folks who might have been in the pipeline. We can work with those folks reviewing what they have, what they can bring in, and help them hopefully through some online opportunities to complete that degree, even if they don't live locally in our service area. So Run State, what we're proposing is to be an academic partner. I stand before the commission today not really asking for anything other than we're asking you for your awareness. I want you to know what we're doing in East Tennessee. I want you to know what our plans are, and I want to be an ear to listen to you so that I can service this community. That's my ultimate goal. So the curriculum is built on state and national standards. I think you can see that in your packet. I can jokingly say on the right side, we stood up degrees at Rome State, all different types of degrees, including nuclear. And I've shared with several of the chiefs. You guys have got a lot of acronyms, let me tell you. So not having a content specialist on staff yet. I spent a lot of time in your standards, and I joked and said I'd read a sentence and look up 3 words and go back and review it again. So please know how much I appreciate you, what you do with standards, and recognize that you live under. So my goal here, provide you awareness and ask for an opportunity to return. I mentioned Firefighter 1 and 2 to serve some of those rural communities, and you'll see letters attached from different fire chiefs in our area on the back of the degree proposal who let me know that access is an issue for them. Many of these volunteer firemen work a day job, and being able to take time off and to try some of these fire departments to get the training that they need so that we make sure that we have trained and proficient firemen and women out there on the front. I want to help partner. Road State wants to be an educational partner with them, of course, under your guidance. We don't want to do anything that's out of line. We're going to hopefully come back for approval with that. So ways to earn credit, we can do them in person. We're going to offer some online opportunities, and then PLA, which is bringing in those certificates that you already have credit for. So today, I just want to say thank you. I'll answer any questions that you might have. Run State is planning to move forward based on the information that I've gathered from our service area that the need is there with a degree in fire science. And then I ask that you allow me to come back when my partnerships are finalized, and I can bring a packet back to you, hopefully to offer firefighting into the Run State service area. Any questions? Yes, sir.
And when do you foresee your Tennessee Board of Regents? I know that
Sure.
today.
Within the next 3 months.
You know, that would be
So any other questions that I might have?
for recognizing this need on the eastern part of the state. It really is a need across the whole state. And partner with the other department in making it available. We appreciate it.
Thank you
Very much.
Thank you.
If I could, I'd like to say your team's been very passionate about bettering the fire service, and this is a lot of work that you're doing. So thank you. Thank you, somebody that's not involved in it, it's challenging. So thank you. Thank you.
We're excited about your dual enrollment.
We're excited as well. Many of us recognizing that they can't go to the 18th where they can start getting certificates, but I think using that state money to do some exploration for some of these young men and women who are interested in this field and set them on hopefully on a pathway in your pipeline.
The dual enrollment programs, I think as well, you can see a lot of courses, fire service out there. I would like to see that aspect.
Agreed. And hopefully, really, in my opinion, those 5 classes in dual enrollment are really designed to kind of help them find your path. So we can offer a course in fire science that the folks in our service area, these young men and women can decide if that's a career that I want to pursue. I'm not telling you anything that you don't already know. It's got to be something you love. It's gotta be something you are. It's when we talk about our people who teach, you don't teach to have a second house. You know, you teach because it's what you want to do and what you want to do to give back. So I recognize that for this particular field, and thank you for that. Hopefully, we will increase a pipeline for you out of dual enrollment, that some of these students can see that this is an interest that they might have, whether it's an AAS at the end of the field, or they want to go on to a bachelor's degree, or as I've learned, all kinds of different careers in fire. All right.
So you
I'll see you guys. Thank you again. Thank you for your time.
been saying in the state house, personal order, y'all don't know, the living legend came out here and sent Dennis Bryant. That's in the state. Y'all don't know what it means. Thank you. And some of you may not be here for the rest of the week. The fire department day on the Hill this year, March 4th. Hopefully somebody will come participate. It's an election year. So that's coming up as well. Communications, we'll start with Josh in the West.
West Tennessee's been covered up. I mean, we're super busy right now. Of course, everybody's submitting on their EIP from last year, and everybody started their training for EIPs this year. Just helping navigate those files. I had quite a few new training officers in West Tennessee. I'm spending time with each of them, helping them develop their programs and show them how to put things in. Along with that, Arlington, they're not Arlington, I'm sorry, Carterville, they're their training officer, that's been doing mission 101 with them. So I got it set up at the end of this month. Which I'll get a few extra people in that, the new training officers to help them out. Of course, last week was pretty trying to move all the test beds around. Everybody got snow and ice. So a lot of shuffling of events last week. Other than that, just super busy with EIP, new training officers.
So we announced this yesterday during the workshop. For those who don't know, as the EIP comes in, instead of it now until the March deadline, the way the office handles that is in batches. They get $1 million, they submit it to finance administration. That's also broken into career, volunteer, combination. So you might send yours in January, you might send in January 15th. There is a chance you might be one of the last one to pay. Don't get nervous, but they go in batches. That's how they go. I save you from having to call the school and ask why. Check. So he's Stephen.
I'll mimic a lot of the things that Josh just said. Busy in East Tennessee, the weather, EIP. But one of the things I've been working pretty heavily on, the dashboard, the one-on-one classes. I taught one one-on-one class last month, and I've got 2 more this month and 1 more scheduled. First half of the year, I've got 4. Unlike past classes, that's in low attendance and 4 or 5 people. A lot of these are in the 19 people, not that and growing every day. I'm just started 5 today, so good attendance. And I started advertising. Thank you.
Hey, Todd.
Well, I'm going last, so I can mimic what both of them said. Middle Tennessee's busy as usual. Right now we're getting the start of the year kicked off. I mean, we've got like 70 some odd tests already for, testing events going on. We've got 4 commission 101s on the books. We're just now getting those scheduled. We were waiting for, January to kind of play out and get into the first of the year. But other than that, it's business as usual. We're doing our, we're helping the office with the correlations of skill sheets. So it's actually been an interesting time. It was something I was actually kind of dreading at first, but it's been very exciting to see and to be able to help the office on the backside of the skill sheets for something that we implement out in the field on the practical side. So with that being said, do y'all have any questions for Middle Tennessee?
So,
I'm ready.
So, accreditation is a team effort, brought it to that. Since it was brought up for everybody's awareness, right now, we've got some 29 departments that we're going to follow. Equates to about 1,999 people, comes to 1,599,000. Looking at accreditation, it is exciting.
Talk louder.
It's usually not a problem. Never been told that. So the site visit is this summer, so that's, mission will be varying and making sure we're reaccredited. 2 months. Two factor, Jason Sparks.
So, recruit class 2601 will start February 23rd. That class is currently full with a wait list of 4. So it has shrank quite a bit in the last 2 weeks, which is normal. What I would say is if you need people in that class, still put them on the wait list. There's still a possibility. We have some students that are still missing some prereqs that are enrolled in class, and we will eventually get to the point that if they don't meet those prereqs, that we will move them out of class and move in people that do. So if you have students that you need in class, like in class, then get them on the wait list. Okay. Sorry, give me just a second. Need to pick up while you're looking? Got it. We'll open back up. All of a sudden the screen is blank, they're not responding. There we go. So, our new 95-foot mid-mount tower, we're doing a final inspection on that, March 3rd through 6th. We expect it to be delivered to campus somewhere along the last of March, 1st of April. We're still working on a campus-wide fire alarm replacement project. So what that means is we're doing our very best to keep hammer drilling and construction out of buildings where students are, but if you have students on campus, there's going to be some of that going on. So trying to minimize interruptions there. Our residential burn prop, so we used it, it's open and up and running now. We used it the last burn that we did in 2025, worked well. We look forward to utilizing it more as we start back burns in March. So for weekend events coming up, East Tennessee Fire Rescue Conference is scheduled for March 29th and 30th. That one will be our first offering as well of fire chief orientation for the year. And then Smoky Mountain Weekend is scheduled for May 30th and 31st. Upper Cumberland Weekend in Cookville is set for 29th and 30th. So that's second offering of fire chief orientation for 2026. And then Tennessee River Weekend is scheduled for November 7th and 8th in Hardin County, and that will be our last offering of fire chief orientation for the year. As will be talked about in a few minutes during the meeting, we're working with the commission and we're following an NFPA standard change for NFPA 1010. And the reason that's important to everybody here is textbooks will be changing. And so textbooks will be changing for anything Firefighter 1, Firefighter 2 related, basic firefighting, basic live, all those we change into a new textbook. And we're working hand in hand with the Firefighting Commission to make that timeline as seamless as possible when they get there. Also, pumper driver operator and aerial driver operator are in that standard, so those will be affected as well. That is the end of my report, and I'll be happy to answer any questions.
Thanks, sir.
Thank you.
Legal report, Mayor Beth.
The only thing that we were, so the chapter 57, the amendments are well, that Susan, and we just said over that one. The second one, rolling backwards, which is what was standards. Changes that we've been working through is shortly there behind, I would say, not more than one. The only other news I have is that the state is required to do everything that's published on our website, 88. So as we navigate the change, should put that. So, I say, just it's not speak about it.
On this rules package for those that will follow. It's going to crush you. It's in, our goal is to get in this year, but we no more submission of service package. Look like post or even as coming on the chiefs and training officers to make sure everything 30 or 40 hours. Be a package submission. I know you're gonna hate that. To go off those high. But that's the movement. That's the main thing that's coming out. So try to make it more user friendly and out there it'll be primarily for the training officers.
Chairman, the people on WebEx cannot hear anything that you all are saying up there. I don't know if it's your mics or what, but you're gonna have to talk really loud. Really loud.
Really loud. Okay. Really. Commissioner Bell.
Good morning. I know probably most of you in the room know this, but I want to make sure, because there may be some people here today that weren't here yesterday and maybe weren't at the last meeting. But Eric Barlow to my left is the new director for the Firefighting Commission. Just a little bit about him. He's living now in Clarksville. He is a 20-year firefighter and a 20-year veteran of the United States Air Force. His last place, I guess you were there, I think you said you were there about 7 years, right? It was at Emmendorf Air Force Base in Alaska, where he was deputy chief there. And we are glad to have Eric in this position. He's going to be a great leader for the commission. And I think the commission probably is already enjoying working with him. So we do appreciate Eric and want y'all to get to know him if you've not yet met him. Second thing I want to mention to y'all is something against some of you, or maybe most of you know, but our TPACA director, Jeff Elliott, is leaving. In fact, his last day with us is tomorrow. He's retiring. I told him when he called me and told me, I said, he kicked me in the gut. He's been a great leader for TPACA. He kicked me in the gut. But I told him I didn't blame him. I mean, you know, he had a 20-year career with the city of Franklin. He's now had a career with the state at TPACA, and he had a job offer in the private sector. I told him he would be stupid to turn it down. And so we're happy for Jeff, while we're sad that he's leaving. So want to tell you that, Jeff, and let's give him a hand for it. Thank you. And I do want to mention that now we got to hire a new director for T5. That job will be posted. I believe the OHR is going to get that posted next week. And be posted on the state website. We will be looking for good qualified candidates. And so we want to let you know that. Lastly, there's probably not a department in here, regardless of where you are in the state of Tennessee, that's not been affected by the storm, that's not been working the storm. We really appreciate the effort. Citizens of the state appreciate the effort that every one of you and every one of your members have made in this storm. You know, we in East Tennessee, I live in Southeast East Tennessee. We completely avoided the ice storm, then got hit with snow, last weekend that you and Bill in West Tennessee avoided. But, that's why I say just every area of the state's been affected in the last week and a half. We've had deaths, we've got, all the emergency services around the state working overtime to, make sure our citizens are safe, and, again, appreciate your people work. Thank you.
Or, I will say, Robinson.
Said, yeah.
Speak up.
Either stand up or speak up.
Use the word yelling at me, so. Everybody's aware this FFC transportation has relocated. Nashville located in front door. Hopefully it's been a season transition for all of our firefighters. And it's good transition for us as well. The big rule require a 60-day time. Anybody who's wanting to submit items to the agenda for which week. Been pretty liberal with that in the past, but we're gonna have to start enforcing that, to include relation requirements for any, courses that people are looking. Time for the commission to review those items. What we noticed is that up to almost the day before this meeting, we're still receiving requests. So, as far as that, take all effort to meet that time. Additionally, one other item, EIP, DIP, as we started going through some of the training plans, one of the things that we identified, information with feedback is that for departments that are counting on feedback courses to be a part of their training plan, plan on doing that and make sure that you're coordinating that in advance with TPACA. By putting it on your training plan does not mean that we are coordinating that on our end. So you can assume that just because it's on there, that TPACA is tracking that. So leveraging them, then just make sure that's coordinated up. How practical it is for everybody who made aware of that. The rule, that's been a standard requirement where any in-house practical that's notified 2 weeks in advance. Try to simplify that process as much as possible, really where it doesn't impact any. It gives us the opportunity where we can come out and we can put eyes on that. Really do what we're supposed to be doing anyhow. Shouldn't impact you. And that's also where the requirement for exact or look hard for everything. Fully intend to get out and start doing that. Yeah, there's been discussion on whether 2 weeks is the right thing. I tell you, I like 2 weeks because it gives me the opportunity to where, hey, I know fire departments work Monday, Friday, 7 p.m. Right, work 365 days a year, 24 hours a day. No practical exams on a weekend. That gives me an opportunity where I can look at my coordinator and say, hey, I want you to attend this one to be able to play these together. One of the other things we noticed is that we have a lot of seasoned firefighters in the state of Tennessee, 3,364 that received your firefighter 1 and 2 under the 1997 NFPA 1001 edition. One of the issues with that is occasionally we receive a request to provide some type of memo to validate that that certification requirements for age domain. Certification doesn't have those certs separated. Starting with legal, internally, we looked at that. I dug into the NFPA standard that year. It does in chapter 3 and 4 say that those competency for NFPA 72 were required for the certification. So I've drafted up a memo that's been signed, approved internally, and we're working with the case to upload that to everybody's profile. If opposed, you will have direct access to that, and if you're trying to get full credit for college or what have you, validate that they receive those certificates. Just for everybody's awareness, Laura Costin, who our administrative director, have made final decision to proceed now take on the accreditation manager role. So,
Laura's been with the firefighting commission for about a year and a half. We started networking with other accreditation managers throughout the country, when they noticed that many of them were kind of came up with the path that was coming up. I believe that the focus there with the accreditation manager, we need somebody who's strong in the trade. Laura has those skills, she's no commodity, and I think you all will benefit from taking on that. Please congratulate her. All I have.
So, imagine touch on whole business evaluator training was a hot button last month.
The evaluator training, one of the things that I recommended to the commission or work session yesterday. Hey, we recognize the fact that we have to have this type of evaluation for our accreditation part. However, I also recognize the fact that trying to coordinate an in-person training event throughout the state, this will be. It just doesn't, it doesn't seem very prudent. So one of the things we are looking at is create an online evaluator training course. Linked up with a couple of accreditation managers in 5 or 6 other states that are in the same boat. In collaboration with them, or teaming up with them to help create that course. We can take that as the foundation, tailor that to fit the Tennessee needs, and then it'll be required upon our leadership to have your evaluator complete that course. Then we'll require that our chief and training officer provide attestation that their evaluators that training requirement and that course will be evaluated and requirement. Like I mentioned yesterday, I'm a big one of the head fire chief system that I come from the DOD realm. They're probably the biggest customer for his second program, and that's similar to how they are. So that's my recommendation to the commission. Thank you.
So. Now, under new business, we need to add some items. Entertain all in one motion.
So, Mr. Chairman, I'd like to make a motion that we add 5 items to the agenda. First is going to be letter I. It's going to be a waiver request from the Owen Fire Department for missing the corporate growth programs deadline, but then also giving the executive directors authority to go ahead and process these waivers in-house and not have to come forward. That way they can be taken care of immediately. Letter J. Grant the firefighter commissioning office to approve the EIP, VEIP program batches as they come in and submit for payment. Letter K. Effective January 1st, 2027, all basic firefighting courses shall be resubmitted to the Fire Commission for approval that meets all NFPA JPRs under the current approved standard to be eligible to test for firefighter 1. Letter L. Accept the recommendation from the textbook committee to use the Jones and Bartlett curriculum for firefighter 1 and 2. Letter M. Accept the recommendation from the textbook committee to use the IFSA curriculum for PDO, ADO, FAO, and ARFF.
First second.
Thank you.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say no. Set. It's 5 items to the agenda. Back to item A, C Solutions Accreditation, retain motion. Retain motion. Retain motion. Yes. We do need to get on feedback. They can resubmit it.
So I make the motion to approve. We're going to have a discussion.
Second.
Now discuss.
There's no hours, there's nothing to prove it. Or is there any feedback from the commission?
Yeah, it was,
Just a list of classes.
So there's nothing completely back to the standard.
Oh, is this in person? Is this online? I think it's online. That's an assumption.
so what we're looking for is the correlations, the class hours. In person, online, what's the delivery method?
And our reminder is gonna be in.
Very vague description.
Right. Well, yeah, all right. All those in favor of approving this request, say aye. All those opposed, say nay.
Nay.
Nays have it. Fire Center program. Have a presentation.
Yeah.
It's okay, isn't it? So let's make a motion.
I think we should think we put it on.
Second.
Yesterday, we talked about whether or not this certification that we can do. If SAC, initially we don't need here. In our work session, I did find where multiple states use this as an if SAC. I believe Commissioner Cobb has more information from the Pro Board. Where we can maybe move forward with this and be able to do stuff.
Yes, I contacted the Pro Board, Rain this morning, and we can do an extension accreditation to them, submit the testing process that we review. They would then form a committee. If it passed the committee, then we could offer that certification from Pro Board in state agency.
I think from a logistical standpoint, we probably need to say approve or disapprove today. We need to workshop it because is it a level we want to add to? Do we want, because there is cost and work involved and certification to our office. I'm not saying this, no, but I think staff needs a chance to evaluate what that time cost is and maybe gauge from other states how often that certification is issued. I mean, you can say 5 would be enough to justify it. I don't have that number. But what that would look like. Good thoughts?
Mr. Chairman, I think if it benefits even one firefighter in the state of Tennessee, then it's more than worth it.
I think what we need to do is let Mr. Cook continue with this project. Complete that because he's trying to get an overall, completion packet done as far as an outline for practical stuff and all that. I think that needs to be completed. I think we need to allow our accreditation manager to look into it on his side of the program side. Because we mentioned that she wants to have in writing that we're gonna be able to do that. And I think that's a good thing. We need to just pull the trigger until she can say, yes, we can. And it needs to be brought back to like a meeting in Gatlinburg. So
I agree. I'd like to see it table to Gatlinburg, and then that way we have the time. Keep working on, or has a chance to reach out to both Pro Board and it's. And I agree. Even if it's one firefighter, I think it's the value added. May not be across the entire state, but it's added to that community. And it may pick up from there.
I would agree, even if it is one person doing this certification. We need to move forward. These are our customers. We need to listen to these people. There are. So, I know it might be a lot for staff to ask, but if we can get something at the next Gatlinburg, that would be great. In addition, I would like to see some police putting in on a rules committee, subcommittee, discuss, because it's not have to have a rule change.
So I'll recommend my motion that we say, we've got the first meeting to allow Mr. Hood or there to find the information that we need, and then come back and bring that to us. And we can get it at the subcommittee, also see about it.
I say, full second.
All those in favor of tabling this to the Gatlinburg meeting, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
In opposition, say no. That's that. Next item is the Middle Tennessee Fire Chiefs Leadership Workshop. We received a correlation sheet this morning. So entertain a motion to approve.
Motion. Second.
Motion by Commissioner Solomon, second by Commissioner Scott. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, say no. One abstention. Roland State, we already had their presentation. Fire management program for Mississippi County High School students. John's here. Entertain a motion.
I make a motion to approve.
Second.
Any discussion? Questions for the submitted? We've some time to ask.
I just, Chief Sparks in the room again. I know we took the next, through the spirit of starting all this. I think it's just continue to grow and it's going to only continue to grow. So we're on state doing what they're wanting to do. I believe that, especially with the credits of it. But yeah, I think it's great.
I think we've now approved 7 high school programs since you first brought it to us. And so when you think about that, as fire chiefs sitting in here, we talk about recruitment and retention all the time, how hard it is for us today. And when Chief Sparks brought this to us 2 years ago, 2.5 years ago, to start getting into the high school and start going back, I mean, I was 6 years old when I was touched by a firefighter, and that's where that led me to my career today. And for us to go after these high school kids and bring them back into the fold and create our future, this program, it has been growing tremendously over the past year. And if you're not in your area, definitely look at it. And Chief Parks has been a huge resource for all these other programs. And he would be more than happy to help, walk you through it.
Chris, correct me if I'm wrong, you started with like 6 or 7 people in your volunteer department, right? It wasn't even in school, but these are people that were at your volunteer department that you took under your wing and got them their certifications, and now all 6 of them are fired. They're all working for your department. So it's working, chief.
All right. All those in favor of this request, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, say no. One abstention. Mr. Henry. Guys have it. We have a request from Chief Watson. He could not be here today. He did send proxy. Chief Henderson's supposed to be back there. This is we had some questions yesterday, but talking to several people. This is a request to start a program in Sevier County High School. Even though it dances around that.
That's where we need the clarification. It did make sense.
Solomon for approval, Mr. Henry seconds. And this, we will need to clean up. This is a high school program. County High School. And possibly, maybe I can go to branch out to the other schools. That. Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, say no. The ayes have it. All right, Vector Solutions. 4 of the 9. Let's get a motion.
I make a motion to approve. Second.
Motion by Commissioner Scott, second by Commissioner Terry. 4 of the 9. Or another way of saying it, 5 of the 9, you're not 60 minutes, and our rules say they have to be 60 minutes. I don't know if there's anyone here in the back there. Usually not. So I would like to add an amendment to that motion, approve the 4 that are 60 minutes.
Make a motion. I'll second.
Yeah.
I make a motion to amend my initial motion to accept the 4 classes that are within our rule.
Authority, frequency to the fire hose, fire control, phones, containment control strategy, capacity, all accessories. The other 5, 52 to 57. And maybe we're splitting hairs. Black and white. So that would be 4036, 4047, 4056, 4096. That's submitted. All those in favor of approving those 4, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. That's all.
Mike Henry.
All right, next is Tennessee Fire. Question approval, retain motion.
All classes, but.
She said one, say a presentation.
Yes.
So we drop that out. Seconded. Seconded by Commissioner Cobb. Any other further discussion? All those in favor say aye. Any opposed, say no. All right, waiver request to the October 1st deadline. Allen Fire Department.
I made a motion.
I believe the director stated he did have to reach out for additional information so that we met requirements for a waiver. I believe they did meet them now. As well in this motion, is the second part that we are going to give administrative deference to the director to approve it, because if we don't meet, and here's the customer send it in, payments could go out before we meet. The rules are pretty straightforward. Now, the commission can only grant 3 waivers, and they're all relative to an educational center. So the rules say what waivers can be granted. So it's pretty black and white. As long as you as the customer submit to the director, our training officer was out sick, we had an ice storm. The reasons are in the rules. So we're going to allow the director so it doesn't hold up the customer in the field. Now, if he feels uneasy with it, he can always send it to the commission for our vote. Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Say no. Let's have it. Item J. Allowing the office to do batch payments with EIP for the next until it's exhausted.
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, like to say no. Let's have it. MK. Resubmission of basic courses effective January 1, 2027. Take a motion.
Motion.
Second by Commissioner Green. Those who don't realize, 1001, as we know it, goes away, it becomes 1010. 1010. So NFPA, there are, as somebody said, I think Justice Meyer said, there's gonna be new books. With standard change, so we need to update somebody not teaching a 25-year-old program out there. That's why we want to see, programs. For those agencies that are doing Firefighter 1, Firefighter 2, instructor and officer.
I would think about doing this off the allow the office, so track that as we go. Hopefully, good book.
Any other discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
If opposed, say no. Item L, to accept the recommendation of the textbook subcommittee. Update the 4 books for the basic courses. Motion.
Motion.
Mr. Solomon. Any discussion? Yes. Good announcement.
One of them settled edition, one of them spoiled. That wording.
Firefighter 1 and 2 is John Martin. A PDO.
Jonathan Bartlett for the firefighter 1 and 2, each remaining 8 in the Twitter.
All those in favor say aye.
Chairman asked for.
Director.
Mr. Boatright,
Yes.
Mr. Dodd,
Yes.
abstain. Mr. Moore. Commissioner Scott,
Yes.
Commissioner Solomon,
Yes.
Chairman Windrow.
Yes. Director, I need to change my vote. Yes, is that it? Yes, is that it? Item M, to accept this to put another.
So I make a motion that we accept the IFSA curriculum for EDO, AADO, FAO, ARFF.
Second by Commissioner Solomon. Discussion.
What is the addition on that book? I think it said 7.
There's third.
The books that I saw last year.
Third.
It was different, there's different editions for each of them.
I think it's third.
What is the same red
I
driver?
think it's third.
Okay, before,
Yeah.
after that.
I think it just says the current. She didn't say that yet.
Or maybe just get. So what was Ariel, Commissioner Cobb? Hey, you need my glass? Forward.
So, roll call vote, Director.
Mr. Harris. Yes. Mr. Boatright. Mr. Cobb.
Abstain.
Mr. Green.
Same.
Mr. Henry.
Same.
Mr. Moore. Mr. Moore. Mr. Scott.
Yes.
Mr. Solomon.
Yes.
Chairman Windrow.
Yes.
And I just want to out there, all those that were involved in the process, thank you very much. It's tasking, I know it's a lot of stress on people. Mother Nature gave us some ice storms, so several of us in this room's got 4 or 5 days straight where we sit down and do nothing but read the manuals and highlighting them. So, in between running calls. So thank you again for being part of this meeting. I appreciate it.
Sure. What's this, fire chief workshop? I don't know. I need to roll back to the Mississippi Fire Chiefs Association quiz. So what, maybe their next leadership class is in April. They'd like a full 3 hours for that class. Entertain. I'm discussing. We made. Okay. Pam made the motion. Who said this? I did. Some more.
So is this a series?
Oh, it's 4, yes.
So it's
We know we're not meeting.
right,
They be coming to us now.
right.
So
So
we're gonna get ahead. They're gonna submit the,
Requests and all that, like they've done in the past.
so all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? No. Sorry. This is an opportunity now in the meeting for anyone in the audience, whether you sign up or not, if you have a comment or question for the commission, this is your opportunity.
Chairman, we moved it. I got a text about someone's class that we did.
Since the county, so they're, hopefully they're up.
There. Is that in the same county? No. What? They're solid. So if we need to go back to. Let's go back.
Already approved, we've done that.
Well, that's what I was wondering. I didn't know if we could just add it to the minutes later and reapprove me, or we just needed to go back and add that.
The vote makes it. So.
All right, so I'll put that in form of motion that we approve the Superior County High School Team Board.
I said that. High school in Sullivan County, the man.
Well, when you say Sullivan County,
Yeah, I think we just add Sullivan County. I think it's Sullivan County.
We need to, my motion is just add that school to that to read that program.
seconded by Mr. Henry. Further discussion. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed say no. Back to public comment suggestions. Yes, sir.
The commission clarify the additions and the vendors on the phone.
Yeah.
So for firefighter 1 and 2, hazmat awareness and hazmat operations, it's Jones and Bartlett, 5th edition. And then for EDO, ADO, ARFF, it's gonna be if stuff. And I think we said that was the 4th edition, I think she said. Yeah, 4th edition. And FAO, I don't know, thank you, man. All be 4th edition.
I'll just direct you, possible we can skip that out. And maybe a new pull out. For the part of they put on the line or higher.
talk about the textbook changes. One of the goals for the commission, and we've talked about this for years, is going single source. For so many years, we've asked our firefighters, asked you as training officers, asked you as fire chief, to two classes out of multiple textbooks. And it's very unfair when you have a student that took a class out of Jones and Bartlett, and the testing instrument was a mixture of both IFSA and Jones and Bartlett. So it is the goal of the commission that we go single source as these standards are changing. So that way, it's only one book that we're looking at, testing out of, and there's no confusion for those students moving forward. And that's why we're making these changes with the textbooks as these standards do change.
And I just want to add something to that, please. When we were reviewing these test banks, and I mentioned it yesterday, Mr. Ratley wasn't here, but this is one of the things given to us across the state with all the coordinators. When they were reviewing these test banks, we were given specific instructions that to look at all the test questions, and we went through. And so you're going to hear some of your firemen saying, well, there were questions that pictured in it. We went through and here's what we did. We literally had a guy that was on each of the reviews that sit there with one book, and he had 3 different highlighters. Okay. If the question was in the text and it matched, we highlighted it in yellow. Okay. If the question was under a picture, but we put it also in the text, we would leave it because they should be reading not just the caption of the picture. So we felt like that we would highlight it in green. If we couldn't find it, we highlighted it in red, and that's how we did for all of our tests. And that's how those were validated. And you know, I want to thank all the people involved in that process too, because those were many long hours, like 8 hours at a time, or more for each of the disciplines. So thank you.
When does that go into effect?
Those test banks they should have already been pushed out. That's good. But Keith, I know you don't want me to tell this, but hold your money because you can be buying some books, or try to put it in a line item to look for it in the future. I wouldn't just put it on your July 1 request. I'd say, sure, basketball. We're gonna.
Just a point of clarification on that for what, point of clarification. The 5th edition, Jones and Bartlett will address 1010. We're already in that HMO standard because it was, so that book, the standalone hazmat book is the 4th edition. The 5th edition fundamentals book
Encompasses all of them.
right.
Thanks for that patient, big shift. From no expression, exchange of income.
But one of the things that was brought up yesterday and have information on is for those of you that have new students that have started testing HMA, HMO, the HMA test is not like what we would have taken years ago, where it was an open book utilizing the ERG. It's not the case anymore. It's actually meat and potatoes inside the book that they're going to have to read the textbook in order to be able to pass that test. Just wanted to put that out there.
Questions? Next meeting is in Gatlinburg, Tennessee. We hope to have a rules making hearing 5th of May. Because sooner we got this rule making process forward, then it gets scheduled for GovOps. I'll join the committee from the House and Senate. Because the goal would be to have these rules in effect. We don't have to submit a program. Yes. I'm gonna just say that this
Website,
I agree.
Yeah.
Okay. Check that.
Yeah, we check it. We put out in my.
one picture.
May 56 in Gatlinburg. Hopefully, we have a rules making hearing, have a workshop and a business meeting. 6th, we don't have rules making as well on the 5th. Again, if you don't make the rule making hearing in Gatlinburg, there's a open comment period of 60 days after the rule making hearing.
I don't put a date on, that's for the, up to you guys. There will be a free rulemaking hearing, written comment period, and we'll keep that open last week for 2 weeks after. So written comments, so online or well, and those will be published on the Secretary of State's website.
These will only be chapter 6 and 7. This rulemaking. The other chapters come a point after it.
Chairman,
Yes, sir.
according to the website, fire chief's website, is April 22nd.
The president says it's May.
I've got the website full of. Appreciate you going to do, but I know it's the main, but.
Thank y'all for being here today. Any motions to adjourn?
Motion. Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Meeting's adjourned.